Hey everybody, my name is Ryan, and today in this video I'll be talking about the Origins ending cutscene, and I'll be breaking it down and explaining the storyline to you guys. Now this is upon request. I had so many people commenting on just random videos and on my Twitter asking me to do a breakdown of this and explain what the ending cutscene means. So I'm going to show you guys the cutscene first, and I'm going to take individual images. I'll talk about it, and I will explain the whole theory around this, and hopefully this will help you guys out to understand what's going on. I know Treyarch is trolling with us with this cutscene because this is in no way the end of Zombies. So here's the cutscene, guys, in all its glory, and I'll talk about it.
As the gates to Agartha opened, the four heroes were rewarded with riches beyond imagination. From that day forward, they knew that Samantha would keep them safe. Forever.
You're getting everything wrong. I told you before, their eyes should be blue.
It's my turn, Eddie. I can do whatever I want.
But you don't even know how to play properly. Girls don't know enough about zombies.
What's the choice of a children? Make sure the windows are locked before you come down to the basement.
We'd better do what your dad says. I didn't even get my turn.
Tomorrow, Eddie. You get to make the rules. I promise. Come on, Fluffy.
I wish the heroes in our stories were real, Sam.
I know what you mean. But we will make everything okay. My dad says he has a plan.
So guys, at first glimpse it looks like the Easter egg and the entire storyline of Zombies was just simply made up by this boy named Eddie and Samantha. Now that's really not the case. Zombies is just getting started simply because Treyarch has grown such a fan base from this, and they're making a lot of money, and money is a driving factor in making video games. Like Call of Duty, it's the same thing every year basically, and they continue to make it because we continue to buy it. So I think Zombies is still going. This is the cliffhanger for the next map, but I think they will explain it. So that cutscene is very, very eerie and kind of creepy, as the way I followed Zombies forever. And if it is just a storyline, just that they made up, it's kind of crap. But I really don't think that, and that's why I think it's eerie. Now, the first image we see here is the first arrow is to the left, and the second one's to the right. The second one that is to the right is of the Diesel Punk and the guys, the new crew or the original crew, which are being stomped by it. Which does symbolize those Diesel Punk zombies and Origins. And also we see on the left image, we see the Group 935 symbol, as well as like some kind of, mysterious poster. I've never actually seen that before, but it probably has some reference to zombies in some way. But the weird thing is that Group 935, that group was just kind of a perceived thing from that symbol of maybe like a sports team or something, like the Isotopes off The Simpsons. I don't know, something like that. But it's just perceived from that image. This next image, guys, is kind of important because there are four main things we see. The first one is the drawing of the MP40 on the wall. Now, why would a normal girl, ever have a gun drawing on her wall? That's just kind of symbolizing as well that the weapons off the wall weren't just there because of the Illuminati or something, or some kind of higher power. They were there if the storyline cutscene is true, and they just made it up. They're there because Samantha perceived that. The next thing we see is the bus, and that's the bus from Transit. It has a grill on it, which looks very similar to Transit. We also see either the teleporter from Doris, or we see that generator perk thingy in Origins. It's right next to that. And we also see a car to the left, and now that might not be too important, but there are a lot of those cars, in Black Ops 1 maps, like, outside the map. For instance, like on Kino, there's a ton of those cars. The second thing we see is the Diesel Punk zombie once again, and then we finally see in the background, next to the mannequin, we see the giant robot. So that is where that came from. That's why it's perceived. It was simply, a toy figure of a giant robot, maybe from, can't remember what it's called. I think it's called The Iron Giant. It's a Disney favorite movie. I remember watching it when I was like 5 or 6. And it's a classic movie from Disney. It's a pretty cool movie, and it kind of, that actually does remind me a lot of that movie, and that's kind of a cool thing because it ties in my childhood, my early childhood at least, and I think Samantha was just being a normal young girl, or maybe that's Eddie's, and maybe they're in Eddie's room. I don't know, but it just raises the question of why are these people like this twisted that they have these kind of weird objects and drawings in the room. So this next image is also kind of funny because we look at a funny kind of still shot of Richtofen or Eddie. He looks like he's doing a plank or something. It's kind of funny to look at him like that. But we see two images here that I want to talk about, and then a third and fourth one which I don't have arrows on, but they're very visible. So the first image is of Eddie holding Richtofen and Takio. That's just another important thing because they were at least figurines when they were thinking of the story or pretending to play this storyline out. And we also see on Samantha's pajamas, we see a monkey clapping like a symbol, and that's probably where they got the idea for the monkey bombs. Now another cool thing we see, guys, is we see 4 posters. One is of a helicopter, of like a Vietnam era helicopter. We see one that says napalm. Then we see the 2 on the right side. I can't really remember where I see those, but they are in a zombie map. I know, I almost guarantee they are. But the very far right one looks like a CIA kind of people. So that could be either in Kino or 5. And then the very far left one on that right wall, I can't remember where I've seen that, but that looks awfully familiar. So what I'm thinking is that the napalm one represents the napalm zombie in Shangri-La. The helicopter represents the Vietnam era. And then the 2 images on the right side, I think we're either from Moon, Kino, or 5. So I'm not exactly sure about that, guys. Don't hold me to that. But I have seen those before, or they look very, very familiar. And then the final thing I want to talk about is the Juggernog bottle. And why the hell would this girl ever have a Juggernog bottle? Actually, it says Juggernog on it. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So they must have just made up that perk or something, or made up the bottle from, like an old glass bottle, like a Coca-Cola bottle or something like that. So this next image, guys, is basically just kind of recapping everything I've already talked about, but we do see a new image. First of all, we see is the bus and the perk generator in the top right corner. We also see Juggernog in a more plain Jane view, or we can see a lot better. We also see up top left, we see a cabinet of perks. So these must have been made from Eddie and Sam to make the storyline that they were supposedly creating, just as a fun kind of playtime time killer, basically. They were just enhancing that story. And we see all perks. We see Double Tap, Jug, Speed Coal, I believe, and I believe PhD Flopper. There might be more. I think there are more. This is just kind of a bad angle to look at it. But I think we will see some more if you guys keep playing the video, or if you guys watch the whole cutscene through. But there are a lot of them there for, just kind of a playtime kind of thing. So they must have really put a lot of time and effort into making the storyline fun. And we also see here that the diesel punk zombie, or I think that might be Brutus even, is standing right next to the rocket. And the rocket was from Ascension. You guys could either blow it up, but you guys had to launch the rocket in Ascension to get to the Pack-a-Punch machine. And if you guys ever did the Lunar Lander glitch, there was also a way to get into that rocket and sit in the middle of it. It was pretty fun to do way back when. If you guys were subscribed to me then, you guys probably saw my tutorial on that. But I have since deleted. I think it might still be on my channel, but don't hold me to that. But guys, it was just a cool rocket. It was a cool thing to do, and you guys could also shoot it down with the ray gun, and that was a cool kind of hidden Easter egg in Ascension. So another image, guys, we see is of the dog. We see the eclipse, and then on the left side we see those spinning Buddha symbol things from Shangri-La. So I'm going to talk about first the dog. That is Fluffy. We finally have an image to the infamous Fluffy, who turned into the first Hellhound, who was pregnant and populated the world with hellhounds. So that dog right there looks very, very innocent compared to the hellhound version of her, which is kind of funny because this dog looks so sweet, and then those hellhounds will rip the hell out of you. We also see the phonograph, or the gramophone from Origins, when you guys have to play the songs of the ancients. We see the teddy bear right there, and it's all still bloody, which is kind of weird why she has a bloody teddy bear. We see the eclipse, which is always a sign of the zombie outbreak in World at War, Black Ops, and Black Ops 2 Zombies. And on the left side we see once again the posters, the MP40, the characters sitting there on the ground with the diesel punk, and we see the 1,000-foot tall robot. But then we see on the dresser, we see the spinning kind of obelisk thing from Shangri-La. So once again, that was a perceived thing from this storyline. It was a toy, but I really think there's a lot more than just a storyline. So the final image, guys, I'll be talking about is this one on screen now. We see the auto turret, which was in Kino and then Ascension. I don't know if it was in any other maps besides that. I really can't remember off the top of my head. We also see the mystery box, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute. And we finally see the new crew. So there's also some etchings in the wood that say Eddie and Sam. So that's basically probably just like how many times they've switched off. Which I really don't know how to explain that. But we see the new crew here. We see Stuhlinger, Rustman, and Marlton. I don't see Misty at all. She's probably in the box somewhere or something. But they're not actually dead. What happened was when Richtofen was done, or Eddie was done playing with the zombies, and it was now Samantha's turn to control the story, he put the new characters or the new dolls under this and just kind of left them. So they're not actually dead, so the storyline could pick up from buried. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm assuming it will. They're not actually dead down there. It's just for right now, their storyline is done. Samantha took over the storyline after Eddie was done with his part, and she brought out the old crew because, honestly, who doesn't love the old crew? I love the old crew compared to the new crew. And, I just think they're cool as hell. So what Samantha did was she's now playing with the zombies. She's free to control the storyline however she wants it and how to mend it and, distort it all she wants. Eddie and Samantha's abstract thought is honestly crazy. It's almost creepy and demonic how deep this is for their age. And then, guys, also this last image is of the mystery box, or a rough drawing of the mystery box. We see some kind of face coming out of a metal plate, and we finally see the Vril device. That's the goldenrod right there, guys. That was in Call of the Dead when you guys do the Easter egg, and it was linked into the computer on Moon to power up the Vril device, or the MPD, to switch souls with Samantha. So here's what I think is going to happen, guys, for the zombies, because it's nowhere ended. It's just beginning right now, and I love that. I've been following zombies since World at War, Knocked. Right when it came out, beat the game, played Knocked. I had my friends over all night because no one ever played that before. I was the first one to, play out of my school basically, and we loved it. We got hooked, and I'm still playing it 5 years later. At the time, I think I was 12 or 13. I'm 18 now, and you guys know I'm still in high school, so it's still a part of my childhood. So it's pretty cool, guys. That zombies has followed me this long, and I really think that Treyarch will continue it 5 more years. So I think what's going to happen is Samantha was originally playing with the zombies in her storyline, and that's why through World at War to Black Ops in Moon, she is actually controlling zombies. When Richtofen and her switch souls after you guys do the Easter egg, I think that's actually the Samantha, giving Eddie his turn to play with the zombies, and that's why he brings out the new crew and they switch souls and everything. But I really don't think that Edward Richtofen and Samantha Maxis inside of the MPD, they never switched souls. They did in the storyline Easter egg, but I think actually if they continue this, it'll explain everything, that they were actually never separated. They only switched souls kind of, as a reference to when they actually, switched off roles of controlling the zombie storyline in their little playtime thing. So then Samantha, Richtofen plays with the new dolls, all the way through Black Ops 2, and then at Origins, it is then time for Samantha to take control again of the zombies, and then she brings out the old crew, and we finish up the storyline there. So anyway, guys, I really think that the zombies will never die. It will die eventually, but I think there's a lot more in the storyline. And also, guys, we hear her say when she's walking out the door, I wish that the characters would become real. And I think actually after this storyline happens, maybe like time and space are warped somehow, and this actually occurs. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a dream. They're living a dream like it was in Mob of the Dead. But maybe this playtime will warp somehow in time and space, from the World War II era, and it will actually happen. I don't know, guys. It's a crazy theory. It probably is not right, honestly, because I just don't know how to explain it thoroughly. And I think if I could, it would make a lot more sense. But I think that right now, this was intentionally supposed to be just a made-up story, but I think that something happens after they shut the door that will turn this into a reality. So anyway, guys, that's the best explanation I can give you guys. I hope you guys can better understand the storyline now and enjoy this video. And you guys can just see kind of what's going to go on in the next maps. If you guys could please give me a like and comment before you guys leave this video, that'd be really appreciated. Leave me a comment with any feedback you guys want to give on this video or what you guys thought of it. That would really help me out for future videos. And if you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe so you guys will never miss a video that I post. I promise you guys will not be disappointed in the tutorials and the theory videos and everything like that I do post. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this video did help you out somewhat to understand the Easter egg. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. My name is Ryan. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.